Hey there, it's Carrie Clark with SpeechAndLanguageKids.com. Today I'm going to show you how to play Hide the Penny, which is a fun game that you can play during speech therapy to work on phonological processes. So I do have to give credit on this one to my graduate professor, Dr. Paula Cochran, up at Truman State University. She is the one that taught me this game. I'm not sure if she made it up or if she got it from somewhere else, but I'm giving the credit to her. So thank you, Dr. Cochran. This is the Hide the Penny game for phonological therapy. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to find some minimal pairs. Now what this is going to be is it's going to be two pictures of two words that sound exactly the same except for one change. And that change should be the error that your child is producing. So we're going to do final consonant deletion for our example today. So this is a picture of a boat and this is a picture of a bow. So my child who is trying to say boat but deletes all of his final consonants is going to say bow instead. As you can see, these two words are exactly the same except that this word does not have a final consonant and this word does. So you want minimal pairs. You can get decks of these. I have one for final consonant deletion on my website over at SpeechAndLanguageKids.com. Or you can find these just about anywhere, decks of minimal pairs. So you're going to take two cards from a minimal pair, you're going to place them in front of the child, and you're going to tell the child what they are. So you're going to say, look, this is a boat, this is bow. You want them to understand what the words are. Boat, bow. And you say, okay, I'm going to take this penny and I'm going to hide it. Are you ready? Close your eyes. So you have the child close his eyes, and then you're going to hide it under one of the cards, and then you have him open his eyes, and you say, okay, it's under the bow. And then the child has to find the picture that you said. So you say, find bow. And then when he picks up bow, there it is. Okay, now what you just did is auditory discrimination. So you want to know if the child can hear the difference when you say bow and when you say boat. So you hide it under the bow for one of them, and then the next time maybe you hide it under the other one, and you say, okay, find boat. And then he looks under the boat, and there it is. Oh my gosh. So you want to know if he can hear the difference. You keep doing this with different minimal pairs of the same process until the child can hear the difference between the words that you are saying with and without the final consonant or whatever process you're working on. And once the child can do auditory discrimination with this, then you can move on to production. So then what you're going to do is you're going to place the cards in front of the child and you're going to say, okay, here's boat, here's bow. All right, close your eyes. I'm going to hide the penny. Now this time, when you're working on having the child actually say the word, you want to hide it under the one that the child cannot say or it has a harder time saying. So in this case, it's boat because he can't say the final consonants. So I'm going to hide it under boat. And then I'm going to say, okay, open your eyes. Okay, now I want you to tell me where to look. Do you think it's under bow or boat? And chances are the child's going to say bow, because even if he's trying to say boat, he's not saying the final consonant. So he says this one. So he says bow. And you say, okay, bow. I'm going to look under bow. Oh, it's not there. Okay, try again. Now where do you think it is? So chances are he's going to say bow again. But this time he means boat. And you say, bow? You just said bow. Remember, it's not under the bow. Do you mean boat? Listen, you have to get that sound at the end. Boat. And have him imitate it with the sound at the end. Once he does that, then you pick it up and say, oh, you were right, let's do another one. So then you grab another pair and you say, okay, now I have no and nose. And notice how I am moving them around so that the one with the final consonant is not always on my left. My right, whatever. You're going to say, okay, I'm hiding the penny, and you're going to hide it under the one with the final consonant again, or the one that he has trouble saying. And he's going to say, okay, it's under no. And you say, no. Repeat back what he said. No. Nope, it's not there. All right, let's try again. Where do you think it is now? No. No, we already looked under no. It's not there. Do you mean nose? Listen, you got to get that sound at the end. Nose. And have the child repeat it. And then you find the penny. And you keep doing that until the child can say the word correctly. All right? So that's how you work on getting the production of those final consonants or whatever phonological process you're working on. Now, I do want to show you one quick trick. If this is not very fun for them, if they're not very motivated by a penny, you can get some of those mini M&Ms, the really tiny ones, get a bag of those, and then get some little cups. These are a little bit big for the purposes that we're using. I would just use Dixie cups, but I don't have any right now. So you get some little cups like this, and you're going to lay these down. Now these aren't going to stay, so I'm going to hold it. You're going to lay these down on top of the piece of candy, and then put your cards on top. Can you see that without them falling? Okay, so you have the cups with the cards on top, and then you have a piece of candy underneath one of the cups. So it's the same game, but instead of using a penny, you're using candy. And the reason you have the cups is because if you were to just put down the cards and put a piece of candy underneath it, it'd be super obvious. It's like just sitting right there because it's bulky, so you're gonna see it. So if you do the cups, it makes it a little more challenging or a little more fun. So there we go. That is Hide the Penny. If you have any questions on that, you can leave questions on the YouTube video or over on my website. Go to speechandlanguagekids.com/hidethepenny, all one word, no dashes or spaces in that, and you'll be able to find the information on how to play Hide the Penny. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and catch some more of my good speech therapy resources over at speechandlanguagekids.com. Thanks so much.